Throughout human history, there have been countless instances where malevolent entities have taken hold of innocent individuals or haunted locations. These otherworldly forces have been said to cause chaos, destruction, and despair, leaving victims feeling helpless and alone. Despite modern skepticism, exorcisms have remained a crucial tool for combating these evil spirits, providing a beacon of hope for those in need. In this video, we will embark on a journey through time and space, exploring 10 real-life exorcisms that will leave you questioning the boundaries of our reality. Each story will unveil the chilling details of the possessions, the methods used to perform the exorcisms, and the astounding outcomes that followed. Brace yourself as we uncover the infamous exorcism of Anneliese Michel, as well as other hidden and lesser-known cases that will send shivers down your spine. Join us as we venture beyond the veil of the physical realm and into a world where the forces of good and evil collide. Number 10. The Exorcism of Gina. Back in 1990, Reverend James LeBar took charge of 3 exorcisms that had been officially authorized by the Vatican and the Archbishop of New York, Cardinal John O'Connor. Among these, the most spine-chilling one involved a troubled teenager from Florida, Gina. This bizarre incident was later broadcasted on national television via ABC Network in 1991, capturing the attention of audiences all over. The Newsweek report on this event describes the scene as a ghastly spectacle, accompanied by medieval-style music, which seemed to be nothing more than a horrific and unwarranted display of torture towards the deeply disturbed young girl. Strapped tightly to a chair, Gina screamed and howled unintelligibly, while Reverend LeBar forced a cross into her face and taunted the supposed demons residing within her. He vowed to give them all the pain they could ever want, at the cost of the hapless Gina, of course. However, it was the administration of antipsychotic medication that ultimately brought relief to Gina. Number 9. The Exorcism of Gottlieb and Dittus. Back in 1842, the peace of a tranquil German village was shattered by strange happenings at the home of a young woman named Gottlieb and Dittus. Terrified, Dittus proclaimed that her dwelling was haunted, and soon after, she started slipping in and out of what others could only describe as trance-like states. However, it wasn't until a religious pastor commenced an exorcism that all hell broke loose. Dittus transformed into a violent entity, thrashing around and requiring physical restraints to keep her from hurting herself or others. For an agonizing period of 2 years, the pastor carried out various exorcism rituals, during which Dittus expelled bizarre objects like glass, nails, and the blood that was, of course, to be expected. The entire village watched in terror and fascination as the ghastly exorcism dragged on, with no apparent end in sight. However, in a sudden twist, Dittus eventually informed everyone that the demons had left her body, proclaiming that Jesus is victor. Number 8. The Exorcism of Anna Eklund. The name Anna Eklund may be forever tied to the infamous case of demonic possession that shook America to its core, thanks to the 2016 horror flick that bore her name. However, the real-life girl behind the story, born in 1882, remains anonymous to this day. Her father was the one who accused her of being possessed by the devil, a chilling claim that he made when she was just 14 years old, after she refused his sickening advances. The years that followed were a nightmare for Anna, who was subjected to not 1 but 2 grueling exorcisms. To make matters worse, there were malevolent forces at play, including Anna's father's lover, a woman named Mina, who dabbled in black magic and helped conjure another demonic possession. It was a horrific and traumatic time for the young girl, as she battled demons both from within and without. However, by December of 1928, Anna was finally freed from the grip of her tormentors. Her redemption was the result of a long and painful journey, one that would become a haunting cautionary tale for generations to come. While we may never know her true name, the legacy of Anna Eklund endures as a testament to the very real and terrifying power of the supernatural. Number 7. The Exorcism of Michael Taylor. In 1974, Englishman Michael Taylor's life was in a tailspin. He was a husband and father of 5, suffering from debilitating bouts of depression that left him feeling lost and hopeless. But then he met 21-year-old Pastor Marie Robinson, whose ability to exorcise demons seemed to offer a glimmer of hope for Michael. The two became close, and Michael felt that Robinson was helping him to conquer his inner demons. However, Michael's world was about to come crashing down. His wife confronted him about his relationship with Robinson, accusing him of having an affair. In a fit of rage, Michael physically attacked his wife, prompting 2 ministers to perform an exorcism on him on October 5, 1974. What followed was a nightmare beyond imagination. Michael convulsed, spitting and biting at the exorcists while screaming in an incomprehensible language. The next day, he committed the ultimate sin, brutally murdering his own wife. Despite the heinousness of his crime, Michael was not convicted. His defense team argued that the exorcism had driven him insane, a claim that proved successful. Number 6. The Exorcism of Clara Germana Cele. In the early 1900s, the small village of South Africa was struck with fear as 16-year-old Clara Cele's behavior became increasingly bizarre. She made a deal with the devil, and soon she was seen tearing at her clothes, growling, speaking in tongues, and displaying an almost inhuman strength. Desperate for a solution, 2 priests conducted exorcisms in 1906 and 1907. Clara's reaction was nothing short of terrifying. Her skin burned at the touch of holy water, and her body levitated in front of a staggering 170 witnesses. It wasn't until a noxious smell emanated from her that the priests declared Clara free of evil. Number 5. The Exorcism of George Lukens. Back in 1778, the curious case of George Lukens had people talking. The English tailor was acting out of the ordinary, his voice altered into unfamiliar tones, his cries resembling those of a creature not of this world, and to top it off, he was even singing hymns in reverse. Something was clearly amiss, and people were scared. The Temple Church in Bristol was where the solution was sought. A group of 7 priests gathered together to perform an exorcism to rid Lukens of the evil entities that had taken over his body and mind. With solemn reverence, they commanded the demons to depart from the poor tailor's soul and never return. The intensity of the ritual was palpable, and as the last words were spoken, everyone present waited with bated breath for a sign of success. Then, as if by divine intervention, Lukens regained control of his voice, reciting the Lord's Prayer with a renewed sense of purpose. The 7 priests rejoiced, and Lukens thanked them from the bottom of his heart. This tale of exorcism had a happy ending, a rare occurrence indeed. Number 4. The Exorcism of Terence Cottrell. It was the year 2003, and the world was shaken by the tragic death of Terence Cottrell, an 8-year-old boy with autism. But what made his passing all the more heartbreaking was the nature of his demise. Terence had been attending a prayer service, one that was meant to cure him of the evil spirits that some believed were responsible for his condition. However, the service took a dark turn when the Reverend Ray Hemphill, who was leading the ceremony, ended up suffocating the young boy. As the news of the incident spread, people were left in shock and disbelief. How could a ceremony intended to heal end up causing such harm? CNN reported that Terence's cause of death was mechanical asphyxia due to external chest compression, which meant that he was suffocated. The details were chilling. It was revealed that Hemphill had sat on the boy's chest until he had stopped breathing. It was an act that would eventually lead to the Reverend's conviction for homicide. Number 3. The Exorcism of Laura. Just when you thought the days of exorcisms were behind us, news emerged from Argentina that proved otherwise. It was a video that shocked and awed, capturing the moment when Bishop Manuel Acuna performed an exorcism on a young woman named Laura. In the footage, Laura writhes and thrashes about as if possessed by something not of this world. Her screams and profanities fill the air, and it's clear that something is not right. But Bishop Acuna is undaunted, his faith unshakable, as he performs the ancient ritual with a steady hand. As the exorcism reaches its climax, there is a palpable sense of tension in the air. Then, suddenly, it's over. The evil spirits have been banished, and Laura is free once again. Bishop Acuna makes the sign of the cross over her, and the weight of what has just happened settles in. If you're already enjoying the video, then you won't want to miss out on our future releases. By subscribing to our channel, you'll stay up to date with all of our latest content, and you'll also be supporting us to keep creating more videos. Your subscription means a lot to us, and we truly appreciate your support in helping us to grow. So what are you waiting for? Hit that subscribe button now and become a part of our community. Number 2. The Exorcism of Anneliese Mitchell. In Germany, the story of Anneliese Mitchell is one that has chilled many a spine. It's a tale of tragedy and horror, one that was later turned into a terrifying movie, The Exorcism of Emily Rose. Anneliese was a young woman who suffered from a mysterious affliction. Some believed it to be demonic possession, while others suspected an undiagnosed brain disorder such as epilepsy or schizophrenia. But regardless of what it was, Anneliese was determined to seek help from the only source she knew: exorcism. Over the course of 67 attempts, Anneliese underwent exorcisms that proved to be unsuccessful time and time again, and yet she persisted, hoping that the next one would be the one to finally cure her. But tragically, it was not meant to be. As her condition worsened, Anneliese began to starve herself, believing that this was the only way to drive out the evil spirits within her, and in the end, it was starvation that claimed her life. The horror of what happened to Anneliese did not end with her passing. 2 of her priests were convicted of homicide, and the world was left in shock with fear. Number 1. The Exorcism of Roland Doe. Once upon a time, there was a 13-year-old boy whose real identity was hidden under the pseudonym of Roland Doe to safeguard his privacy. Roland was grieving the loss of his dear aunt when something peculiar started happening to him. He began experiencing eerie sights and sounds, which continued to worsen with time. The possession was so intense that Roland's physical strength went beyond human capabilities, making him violent and uncontrollable. His parents, feeling helpless, decided to take him to St. Louis in 1949 for an extended exorcism that became known as the St. Louis Exorcism. During the process, Roland's behavior became even more erratic as he screamed, cursed, and attacked the exorcists. However, after weeks of rigorous efforts, a miracle occurred, and Roland was released from his trance-like state. He simply declared, "He's gone," and the exorcists knew that the evil spirit had finally departed from the boy's body. This fascinating tale serves as the inspiration for the iconic movie, The Exorcist. Thanks for watching. Subscribe to the channel to watch more spooky videos. Thanks.